Hi there. Okay, so today's video is just going to be a random share. I was talking to a friend about something that had happened in November, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you should share that on your channel." And so here I am, and hopefully it's helpful. So I think that I've mentioned in another video that we have a family member who is an addict. And that family member came and stayed with us in November and had, told us that he wasn't using and that, there were no problems. And of course, like so many, the assumption we made was that, of course, he's telling the truth. Why would he lie? And some of that's because we don't totally understand addiction and we haven't educated ourselves in that arena. But anyway, turns out he was lying, and he stayed with us, and the 2 days that he was with us was really difficult. And the way that I was approaching it was, I'm going to be a good person. I'm going to help him. I'm going to, and that's how I've always showed up for him for 22 years. With that mindset of being a good person and supporting him. And this time was so different, first of all, because it was probably more intense than it had ever been. But secondly, I have kids and they live here. And they didn't ask to be brought into any of this. Long story short, he ended up overdosing on cocaine laced with fentanyl, not while he was at our house, but the same day that he left our house. And, I called Union Gospel Mission and was just asking about rehabilitation programs. And the person who answered was like, 0.02 milligrams is a lethal dose of fentanyl. And that for some reason just hit me like, well, by the way, I think I forgot to mention that said family member overdosed and was on a ventilator in the hospital when I called Union Gospel Mission. And that hit me because I was like, gosh, he was staying at my house and he endangered me, my husband, my children. And I was so mad at him. I was mad at my, other family members, and which I think is all normal, I wanted someone to blame. The reality is, you can't help an addict. And everything that we had done, everything that we have done in the past, which is, I've allowed behaviors from this person that I would not accept from anybody in any circumstance ever. But with this person, I've allowed it because, I was trying to keep the peace. I was trying to make him feel comfortable, just for whatever reasons. And so anyway, I just spent like 2 weeks just reeling over this and being so angry and wanting my family members to change. And this goes hand in hand with the video that I posted yesterday or last night. And it's like, if you're not going to take responsibility for yourself and your well-being, if you're going to abandon yourself, and I'm talking to myself, then don't expect anybody else to be there to support you. Nobody lives in my body. Nobody knows what's best for me. And nobody gets to define what support and help looks like for me. And, at one point, another family member had said to us, oh, so-and-so really needs support. And I was just so mad when that came out. And I realized that the reason I was mad is that I'm like, she's trying to put off on me what her version of support is. And if that's how she wants to support, go for it. And that's what I, in hindsight and moving forward, that's what I would say. Your definition of support might not look like my definition of support, but my definition of support, that's what I'm living. I am supporting him. And I'm supporting him by not being around him because he's not good for me. It's not good for me. It's not safe. and I get angry, and I can't see him in light. I can't see him in truth. And it's also important that we don't hold people in darkness, and I'm aware of that. And because I'm aware of that, I do feel like I am more powerful. And so when I put him in darkness, I'm actually doing a tremendous disservice. So if I'm not able to be around him without judging him, without making him bad or wrong, I shouldn't be around him. And that also led me to realize, like, you've allowed behaviors from him that you would never allow. And so, you know, he goes about his day and he's not bothered, but I'm bothered. And if I'm bothered, you know, there's a good chance that other people are bothered. But in this tippy-toeing around him, and, you know, oh, we don't want him to fall off the wagon, or we don't want him to kill himself, and I don't want him to kill himself, but I can't affect that, and that's not my responsibility. That's his responsibility. So anyway, there's all kinds of different opinions on this, and it's okay. Everybody's right, but why I'm sharing this, and what I would like you to take away, is that you have to know what your truth is, and don't abandon yourself. I was abandoning myself in an effort to live by what other people saw as support, by what other people deemed was my quote unquote job as said person's family member. And then I was getting mad at all of these other people, when really what I needed to do was just stop abandoning myself, stay with myself. I know that that's your version of support. Mine looks different. I know that this is your way of interacting with him, and that's not my way. I know this is your way of loving him. That's not my way. And I'm not saying that my way is right. I'm not saying that my way is better. I'm just saying that my way works for me. And I have to honor that, because otherwise it impacts my relationships with these other people, and they don't even know why. I'm mad and I'm blaming them, but I don't really have a reason in their world. So hopefully this frees you from, you know, the people-pleasing habits and trying to live by other people's ideas of what help is, of what love is, of what support is, of what family members should be, of what, you know, your obligations are. In my world, I don't have any obligations. I'm obligated to my emotions and taking full responsibility for them. And in doing so, I believe that I'm serving everyone. So I hope this helps. Thanks.